8 years, one man, an entire region that had no idea it was about to become Rome's newest acquisition. Julius Caesar didn't just conquer Gaul, he turned it into the ultimate PR campaign. And yes, he wrote his own glowing reviews afterward. Because if you're going to rewrite history, why not start with your own chapter? In 59 BCE, Caesar is knee-deep in debt. Not missed a few payments debt, the kind where you owe more money than your entire extended family will ever see in their lifetimes. Rome's elites don't just dislike him, they worry about him. So they give him a nice faraway job as governor of Cisalpine and Transalpine Gaul. Translation: go manage the borders. Maybe stay there forever? At the time, Gaul isn't one unified nation, it's dozens of tribes, some allies, some enemies, most suspicious of each other, which for Caesar is perfect. Divide and conquer is easier when your enemies already hate each other. 58 BCE, the Helvetii tribe, living in what's now Switzerland, decides to move. They burn their villages, pack their families, and head west. They politely ask Rome if they can pass through. Caesar politely replies, absolutely not. When they try to go around, Caesar ambushes them at the Battle of Bibracte. First, he cuts off their supplies. Starvation does the heavy lifting. Then, when they're weak, he attacks. It's not a battle so much as a controlled demolition. Caesar then forces the survivors to go back and rebuild their old homes, conveniently creating a buffer zone between Rome and other hostile tribes. This is what military historians call strategic mercy, and what cynics call free security guards. Next problem, Ariovistus, a German king who's already in Gaul with tens of thousands of warriors. The Senate calls him an ally. Caesar calls him next. They meet for peace talks. Ariovistus storms off in a rage. Caesar responds by marching his legions straight at him. The resulting battle is a masterclass in Roman discipline versus brute force. The Germans charge like a tidal wave. Caesar's formations hold. Ariovistus retreats across the Rhine. Caesar writes in his memoir that it was all self-defense, sure, and my cat only knocks over glasses by accident. 57 BCE. The Belgae tribes unite to resist Rome. Among them are the Nervi, famously tough and famously bad at giving up. Caesar's building a camp when thousands of Nervi warriors launch a full-scale ambush. For once, he's caught off guard. He grabs a shield, dives into the front line and starts rallying his troops. This isn't the general barking orders from safety. This is Caesar physically holding the defense together. By the end, the Nervi are almost annihilated. Caesar writes about their bravery, with what can only be described as respectful genocide. 56 BCE, the Veneti control the Atlantic trade routes. They decide to test Caesar by seizing Roman envoys. There's just one problem. Caesar's army is terrible at naval warfare. Solution? Build a navy from scratch. In the ensuing battle, Roman ships use hooks to tear down the Veneti's sails. Once the ships are immobile, it's game over. Caesar enslaves the survivors and burns their towns. Diplomacy, Roman style. In one of history's greatest flexes, Caesar builds a bridge over the Rhine in 10 days, crosses it, marches around, leaves. It's not about territory, it's about sending a message. We can come here whenever we want. Then he sails to Britain. Twice. These invasions accomplish very little militarily, but they look fantastic in his reports. Think of it as an ancient version of posting vacation photos for clout. 52 BCE. The tribes find their leader, Vercingetorix of the Arverni. He's charismatic, ruthless, and actually understands strategy. His plan? Burn the countryside so Caesar's army starves, and only fight on favourable ground. It works. At Gergovia, Caesar suffers a rare defeat. In his memoirs, he blames overeager troops and tricky terrain. You know, never himself. Vercingetorix retreats to the fortress city of Alesia. Caesar surrounds it, then builds 2 walls. One faces in to starve the defenders, the other faces out to stop reinforcements. Inside Alesia, food runs out. The Gauls push civilians outside to save supplies. Caesar refuses to let them through. They die in the no-man's land between walls. When a massive relief army arrives, the siege turns into a 2-front nightmare. The outer wall is collapsing. The inner wall is under assault. Caesar personally rides to the crisis point, rallies his men, and counterattacks. The relief army breaks. Alesia falls. Vercingetorix rides out in full armour, lays his sword at Caesar's feet, and the war is effectively over. By 50 BCE, Gaul is firmly under Roman control. Millions are dead, countless more enslaved, and entire cultures are erased. In the Gallic War, Caesar calls it pacification. Back in Rome, he's a hero, rich, powerful, and adored by his soldiers. The Senate, not so much. They see him as a threat, and they're right. Because if you think conquering Gaul was Caesar's peak, just wait until he crosses the Rubicon. That's how Julius Caesar took Gaul. Divide the tribes, fight on his terms, and write the story himself. A conqueror, a propagandist, and the man who proved that history really is written by the victors, especially if they bring their own pen.